Testing, testing. We're active. Hello, my babies, and how are we? Today's video is a very short note, man. I really should start posting these again, by the way. My bad. Type. Recent struggles was going back to a schedule, man. Because it's when you're set on something, it's weird because detaching yourself from what you're doing really feels like you are a different person, or at the very least, like kind of interacting with all the different things that I'm interested in and seeing how their stages are kind of moving forward. Specifically because like okay, so I started writing the code for the platform and now the code is done and the platform is done. So a different person right now is basically taking the reign. And I just wanted to mention that because as of 2 weeks ago, officially we onboarded a person to start working with us. By us, I mean me and myself, by the way. Like, so when you talk to yourself a lot, you have to give yourself credit, right? So it's funny because like when you're talking to yourself, you give yourself credit. You give yourself credit. So the entirety of the English language kind of divides this you into two, or at the very least gives a self presence with you. And I think that deserves a lot of credit, given that most of the time we are by ourselves. And it's funny. So today's video is wanting people to like you, and basically you know that emoji with the squiggly face, like I think that's how it's supposed to look. But here it is, wanting people to like you with this weird, awkward state. Uh, what's the closest? What's the timeline for this? Holy shit, 26 May. Like this note has been written about a year ago, like 9 months ago, or maybe like within the 8 month to 9 month range. What was I going through back then? It was in May. I remember I had went through like a couple of months where there was a month where I did not spend $1. I literally had some money. I bought food for the cats, and I had taken the contract and I built someone's website, and I had taken the money and I bought food for the cats. I paid my rent for the next 3 months. I bought enough food for the house, like rice and sardines and like chickpeas, all the stuff high in protein and fiber and shit like this, but not really like expensive. But they just like kind of demand your time. And I had like passed through those 3 months in frustration or getting out of past frustrations. I remember I wrote a lot back then. So I mean I can't I estimate a point of reference when it comes to the timeline. That's why I'm assuming my thoughts and my basically feelings and all that good stuff. But I think at that point I don't know if I was facing rejected, but I was probably exploring because I don't really approach people in a way where I want something from them. So that's why the wanting people to like you part was probably my own thoughts and some form of monologue that I went through that made me feel some form of aggression. So what effectively happened was I wrote it down. It was like, okay, like why would you want people to like you? No, I don't think it was why would you want people to like you. Keep in mind, right now, how I am is completely different than how I was back then. But wanting people to like you was a lot more for me. It was like me having that. Can I say having? No, I can't say having. What's the past tense of an ing? There is no past tense because the whole point of the ing is present continuous, I guess, or something like happening now. That's why you say I was having. Okay, so it makes sense. So me having some form of issues extending myself out there, and that probably triggers how I actually feel about myself when I'm trying to talk to people before I even like get to a point where I'm comfortable enough to talk to them freely about stuff that I enjoy. I think that was a good stage in my life. Like I had recently just kind of realized how my family is completely like not engaging with me, and I saw myself not really wanting to engage with them. And so effectively, it's a series of events that were probably putting me in a state where like, are you unlikable, or are people just concerned with themselves? So there's a tad there's a nihilistic feel to it, man. So imagine this scenario, like a surfer dude, and just their response to everything is more like, yeah, or awesome, or cool. Sorry, I'm saying that because my teenage years were in the 90s. So that was the influence that I had. But more like that. Wouldn't want to call it stoic because stoicism happens in a different way, but I would want to call it wanting people to like you. Yeah, there's a hint of indifference to it. It's not why would you want people to like you, right? Because why you would want people to like you makes sense. Well, you get attention, uh, you get to be yourself, or, well, at the very least, wanting them to like you means they're not allowing you to be yourself. That's why you're wanting them to like you. So the transition is more you are feeling off, and it's basically reflected by other people's lack of interest. Let us use lack of interest. Yeah, that's what when people are not really interested in something you're saying or you want to say, or just period, and you saying anything, which is probably my case, or it was my case back then. Uh, I, j- it's it was really about the way you understand your mind is not the skill to express what really how you understand your thoughts is the ultimate expression, because anytime we speak, anytime we move, anytime we make any form of like anytime we're trying to send out a message, whether it is verbal or through cues or through feels or whatever it is, or through energy, anytime we're trying to do that, what effectively we're doing is we're trying to translate what our brain, what our mind did. And effectively, we're trying to translate that's in our head that we are very much connected to the outside world. And the bigger issue is always like we have no idea what's going on in our head or why it's happening or how it's happening. We just either like that's an extreme. So we're impulsively kind of saying what's on our mind. And then at one point you kind of like are understanding what's on your mind, but you can't really express it because you never had the experience. You never actually went through the awkward state of expressing something and of truly expressing something. Remember, because society has a way to kind of like chisel at you. So the idea is that everything in life is a skill, and the skill to express yourself is basically what I was like, is it's an awkward stage. That's why you feel frustrated probably with any time you're feeling frustrated is because you're going through that thing instead of allowing it to go through you. And frustration is a must for you to realize that something is happening. But I think we hold on to that or we impose ourselves on it instead of allowing it to kind of freely find its place within us, whatever it is. You can think about any form of skill, any form of transition from I don't know to know. Remember, when we were born, we are completely like invalid. We can't do anything. We can't cry. Like everything has to be done for us. So effectively, our entire nature is just figuring stuff out, and that is basically a form. That's the original skill, I guess, which is like your mind has the power to figure something out. And that's the first skill we train, and then eventually we come out of our mind and we're into that world. So we don't really allow it to mature as we mature. Because it makes sense when you're first learning how to swim, your skill is swimming, but then professional swimming, those are different skills beyond even swimming, because there are buoyancy skills, there are floating skills. They're related to the actual act of like being a professional swimmer, but it's not really just being able to swim in water. It's everything from even like stamina skills and like training skills and breathing skills, right? All of these kind of combine together. So you're maturing with through something, or at the very least, say through life or your goals. It's practically how you build on your how you build the skill sets. And the feel that I'm getting from this is more of a how far am I for people to be interested in what I say? And it's not because I'm saying something interesting, because I'm able to say exactly what's going on or what's on my mind. I'm able to express exactly what's on my mind through words, or probably like other stuff. That's probably it, man. I have no idea. It was a good 11 minutes.